The evening of April 22nd at 7:08 p.m., the Washington news publication Axios revealed the hidden details of Donald Trump's peace plan for the Ukraine, his final offer. What did our president's peace plan require? That Ukraine recognize as Russian a key piece of Ukrainian territory that Russia seized by force in 2014, a traditional headquarters for naval vessels, the peninsula of Crimea. What's more, the president's peace plan demanded that Ukraine recognize Russia's control over 4 entire provinces in eastern Ukraine: Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, a whopping 42,000 square miles of Ukrainian territory, 18% of the entire country of Ukraine. But things got worse. Ukraine wants to be a Western democracy. Its desire to be a part of NATO and of the European Union are written into the Ukrainian constitution. But under our president's plan, Ukraine would swear never to join NATO, and Ukraine would become neutral, agreeing never to take the Western side if Russia chose to invade the countries around it. What happens if Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says no? We walk away. We leave Ukraine to be battered bloodily into submission by Russia. And Wednesday, April 23rd, Vladimir Zelensky said no. In response, our president accused Zelensky of sabotaging peace. The next day, Russia launched 215 missiles and drones at Ukrainian cities. Here's why this matters for your peace in mind. In the months before he invaded Ukraine, Vladimir Putin laid out what he called his red lines. He wanted all the European territory that Russia had controlled in the days of the Soviet Union to be recognized as part of the Russian sphere of influence. He wanted Poland, Hungary, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovakia, Slovenia, and even East Germany to be part of Russia's near abroad, Russia's zone of privileged interests. And Putin wanted to prohibit NATO's presence in these countries. Which brings us back to our president's final offer, his big peace deal. Is it really a peace deal? Or is it a demand for Ukraine's surrender? Surrender to the man our president has spoken to at least 27 times and admires more than any other leader in the world, Vladimir Putin. It all depends on your point of view. If you're an enemy of foreign entanglements like Rand Paul, it's a victory. It gets us out of spending another $182 billion on the plight of a country 5,400 miles away. But if you are not an America firster, things look different. To you, it seems as if our president's plan roasts Ukraine, puts it on a turkey platter, and hands it to Russia along with a fork, a knife, and a napkin. Our president ignores the fact that Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014 and again in 2022, despite signing a peace deal, the Minsk Agreement. One Russian government-funded publication, RIA Novosti, in an article that's had over 1.5 million views, makes it clear that the Russian goal is to exterminate the culture of the Ukraine and to kill any Ukrainians who cannot be turned into good Russians. Way back in 2022, Moscow expected to take Ukraine's capital, Kiev, in 2 to 7 days. Russia was surprised when the Ukrainians defended themselves. Experts knew that if Russia succeeded in its Ukraine plans, Moscow's next step would be to invade the other nations on Vladimir Putin's European wish list. Does that sound unlikely? Remember, Alexander Dugin, the geopolitical historian who's known as Putin's brain, has preached that the conquest of Europe would not stop at nations like Poland and Romania. It would not stop until Russia reached the Atlantic Ocean, which means conquering Europe in its entirety. Those who support Ukraine believe that when Ukraine rose up to defend itself, it was putting its finger in the dike and stopping the wave of Russian conquest before it could begin. What has been the international response to the Trump final offer? the Trump peace plan? France and Germany have sworn to continue to provide the Ukraine with weapons and money. But the final word comes from a host on Fox TV, a major fan of President Donald Trump, Brian Kilmeade, who repeated what he had tweeted on X back in March 3rd. Can we all remember, Kilmeade said, that the Kremlin and Russia is the bad guy? They invaded. They kidnapped kids. Whatever happens, Ukraine cannot lose. Eastern Europe will be next. This is Howard Bloom, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make. Or, want to know why? Ask how. And now for this newfangled off button. Let's see if we can find it. There we go.